Good morning, students. I am Pratima Bhardwaj. So, in the last class, we have done the methods of preservation, right? And what was the last topic? Bacteriostatic and bactericidal. Bactericidal. So, today we will see household methods of preservation. Okay, it means how we can preserve the food in our home. Okay. So first is dehydration or drying. It employs principle of removing water from the food. Microorganisms require moisture for their growth. So removing water to such an extent takes concentration of water below normal. Hence this prevents spoilage. Okay. So what is happening here? We all know that if we will keep the food of any food content, if we will keep in the water for the long time, so it will be spoiled, right? So the basic principle of this, what? To remove the water from the food. Okay, why? Because microorganisms require moisture for their growth, right? So if we will remove the water, there will be no moisture. So in that condition, in the absence of moisture, the microorganism cannot grow. Okay, so we have to remove the water from the food content. In that condition, we can keep the food for the long time, or we can prevent the food from spoilage. Okay, then sun drying is used in homes for food products like papad, noodles, vapors, etc. Right? So we all know about the sun drying. For the preservation of food, we can keep the food content in sunlight. Okay, why? To remove water content from the food content. Okay, so from the sunlight, it may be or it can be destroyed. Okay, then next is refrigeration. It works on the principle that bacterial growth activity and enzymatic food activity is decreased at low temperature, so it delays the spoilage. Okay, what is happening here? It works on the principle. Which principle? The refrigeration is work on the principle of that bacterial growth activity and enzymatic food activity is decreased at low temperature, right? So in the very low temperature, bacterial growth or activity or enzymatic food activity will be decreased. Okay, so it delays the spoilage. Because of the very low temperature, the microorganism cannot grow, or maybe it will be destroy. Okay, so we can prevent the food from spoilage. Okay, so we all know the refrigeration use, right? Then milk and milk products, cooked food, etc. are stored in refrigerator. Next is chemical preservation. By addition of salt or sugar, when salt or sugar is used at high concentration, it draws water out of food, thus decreases moisture content of food, so microorganisms are unable to grow. What is happening here? By addition of salt or sugar. Okay, if we will add the sugar or salt in any food content, so what will be happen? The moisture of food content will remove out through the salt or sugar. Okay, then in that condition, definitely moisture will be not there. So in the absence of moisture, the microorganism cannot able to grow, right? So we can prevent the food content. Then salting is very old traditional method of preservation. Okay, it is a old traditional method of preservation. The pickle are prepared and stored on the basis of this principle. Okay, pickles. So we, if we want to keep the pickle for the long time, so we have to add more salt, right? We all know about this. So for the pickle, for the preservation of pickle, we have to add some more salt. Similarly, jams or marmalades, jellies, etc. Okay, like pickle also, there are jams, marmalades and jellies also like that. Then uses sugar at high concentration to retard bacterial growth. Okay, for the high concentration we can use the sugar to prevent or to reduce the bacterial growth. Okay, like here jams and jellies. For the jams and jellies we can't use the salt, right? We can use sugar. And for the pickles we can use salt, we can't use the sugar. Okay, now clear? Then next is use of acids. Okay, microorganisms cannot survive acidic environment. Okay, microorganism cannot survive in a acidic environment. Acetic acid like vinegar, citric acid like lime juice is used for food preservation. Okay, so we can use the acetic acid and citric acid to preserve the food. Example, vinegar is used to chutneys, we all know about this, pickles and a ketchup. Okay, in jams, jellies and squares, etc., citric acid is used for preventing mold growth. Okay, so where we can use vinegar in chutney, pickles, ketchup, and in jams, jellies and squares we can use the citric acid to prevent mold growth or to we can prevent the growth of bacteria or microorganism. Okay, then next is other chemical preservatives. Sodium benzoate and potassium metabisulfite are used improper concentration for preservation. These must be used in with great precaution as they become toxic if not used in proper amount. So what is happening here? Sodium benzoate. So that was what? Household chemicals, right? Then here sodium benzoate and potassium metabisulfite, we can use this chemical for the preservation of food. Okay, this must be used in with great precaution as they become toxic if not used in proper amount. Okay, this for use of these chemicals we have to follow some method, or we can be careful for what at the proper amount we can use. Okay, a proper amount we can use to preserve food. If we will use the more, the food will be toxic or the food will destroy. Then next is oils and spices. Oils have unique property of forming protective layers on the food which cuts off contact of foods moisture with oxygen in air with pickle. Spices like turmeric and pepper have bacteriostatic effect and this property is used for pickle preservation. Okay, so what is happening here? Oils and spices. We all know to keep the pickle for better or for long time we have to use more oil, right? So oil have unique property of forming protective layer. Okay, oil have a unique property. What is that? To form a protective layer on the food which cuts off contact of food's moisture, okay, with oxygen in air with pickle. Okay, so oil can form a protective layer on the food. Oil what will do? Oil will cut the contact of food from the moisture, okay, with oxygen in air with pickle. Then spices like turmeric and pepper have bacteriostatic. Okay, spices like not so turmeric and pepper. Okay, we all know pepper means chili, black chili. Okay, so turmeric and pepper have bacteriostatic effect and this property is used for pickle preservation. Okay, so in the turmeric and the pepper also have a bacteriostatic effect, so we can use that to preserve pickles. The next is boiling or sterilization. The microorganisms are inactivated or destroyed at high temperature. We all know that microorganism cannot survive in a high temperature. Okay, in pressure cooker heat penetrates the food and kills or inactivates bacterial cells. So we can boil the food or we can sterilize the food in a high temperature. In that what will be happen? In the high temperature the microorganism will destroyed. Okay, so in pressure cooker heat penetrates, we all know, the food and kills or inactivate bacterial cells. What is happening in pressure cooker? In pressure cooker, the food is penetrates and that pressure or that high temperature is inactivate the bacterial cell growth and kill the bacteria. Okay. Then next is commercial methods of preservation. So first is pasteurization. It is commercial methods of heat application. Pasteurization is based on principle that food is treated at high temperature for short time and then cooled immediately. Example, milk is treated at temperature of 143 degree Fahrenheit for 30 minutes and then cooled immediately. This is known as holding process of pasteurization. Okay, so what is pasteurization? If we will keep the food in a high temperature, okay, then after the boiling or after keeping in high temperature, again immediately we will cool that food. Okay, so it is commercial method of heat application. Pasteurization is based on principle. In which principle pasteurization is based? That is, food is treated at high temperature for short time. Okay, for the short time we will keep the food in a high temperature and then cooled immediately. Okay, like example, milk is treated at temperature of 143 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, if we will keep the milk in a 143 degree Fahrenheit temperature for 30 minutes and then we will cool that immediately. This is known as what? Holding process of pasteurization. Then while in high temperature short time methods, milk is heated to 160 degree Fahrenheit for 15 seconds and then cooled to 10 degree Celsius or low. Okay, what is happening here? Before we had keep in a 143 degree Fahrenheit, right, for the 30 minute. Okay, we kept in a 143 degree Fahrenheit for the 30 minute. Again immediately we cooled that milk. Okay, but also we can do while in high temperature short time method. Okay, short time method. So for the short time method, what will we do? We will keep the milk in a 160 degree Fahrenheit for 15 seconds and then what we will do? Then we cooled to 10 degree Celsius or low. It means what is happening here? We will keep the milk in a 160 degree Fahrenheit temperature. Then we will keep in a fridge. Okay, we will cool that immediately and we will keep the milk in fridge. In what temperature? 10 degree Celsius or low. Okay, then but fruit juice and aerated drinks are also pasteurized by this method. Okay, so for the fruit juices also we can pasteurize that drinks. Okay, we all know about the not artificial, हम जो मार्केट से जूस खरीदते हैं, राइट, वी कैन दैट आर्टिफिशियली ऑल्सो. ओके, जो हम मार्केट से जूस पैकेट आते हैं, ठीक है, वो क्या होता है? पास्चराइज होता है. कैसे? अब डायरेक्ट अगर जूस निकाल के पैक किया जाए उसके बाद पब्लिक को दिया जाए तो क्या होगा? जूस ज़्यादा दिन तक रह पाएगा क्या? नहीं. तो क्या करते हैं? पास्चराइज करते हैं. हाउ? बाय दिस मेथड. ओके, नाउ अंडरस्टैंड. नेक्स्ट इज कैनिंग. It also employ principle of high temperature short time processing. Food is sterilized for few seconds by steam under pressure and then cooled and then packed and sealed in sterilized container. The product retains its color, flavor and nutritive value. Okay, what is happening here? Canning means it's also like a sterilization, pasteurization. Okay, it also employs principle of high temperature short time processing, right? Like what was that? Like holding process of pasteurization, right? So that method is following in here also. Food is sterilized for few seconds by steam. What was happening there? In a temperature but direct contact, right? But here what is happening? By steam. Okay, food is sterilized for few seconds by steam under pressure means like pressure cooker, and then cooled, and then again immediately we will cool that food, and then we will pack that, then sealed in sterilized container. Okay, the product retains its color, flavor, and a nutritive value. Then next is cold storage. Foods can be kept for long duration in commercial cold storage rooms maintained at very low temperature and a proper humidity. Okay, cold storage means in that we have to keep, or we can keep the food in a low temperature or cool temperature to reduce the bacterial growth. Okay, then example, fruits and vegetables are stored in cold storage units. Okay, then freezing. There is difference between cold storage and freezing. Okay, when foods are freezed at temperature below the freezing point of water minus 18 degrees Celsius to minus 40 degrees Celsius, the bacterial growth and the enzymatic activity is retarded. But before food is freezed, following points must be kept in mind. So what is difference between cold storage and freezing? In cold storage, we are keeping in a cool temperature or low temperature, but in a freezing, we are freeze that material or liquid material in a minus degree Celsius temperature. Okay, we all know in 0 degree temperature water can freeze, okay, and convert into the ice. So what is freezing? So for the freezing we have to follow some points. First is select good quality food and at proper maturity. Okay, the next is blanching must be done to inactive enzymes. Then pack food is in moisture proof or polythene bags. Okay, so these methods we have to follow. First is what? Select good quality food and a proper maturity. Okay, so the next is blanching. We have to do blanch to inactivate the enzyme before freezing. Then pack food is moisture proof or polythene bags. So before freezing we have to pack the food without moisture in a dry environment by to waterproof or moisture proof polythene bags. Okay, then radiation. The radiation like gamma rays, ultraviolet rays are used to destroy microorganism in food. Okay, what is happening in radiation? The radiation like which rays? Gamma rays, ultraviolet rays. We can use that rays to destroy microorganism from the food. Then antibiotics. Nowadays, antibiotics like auramycin and terramycin are also used for increasing shelf life of food since no residue remains after treatment, so they do not cause any harm. Okay, we can use the antibiotic also like auramycin, terramycin to prevent food from the microorganism or to reduce the bacterial growth. Okay. Then methods of preserving or storing non-perishable foods. Non-perishable foods are those foods items which are easy to preserve and can be stored for long duration. I have already told perishable and non-perishable. So following points must be kept in mind for preserving non-perishable food items. So these are the points. Thoroughly cleaning and drying of pulses and grains. So if you want to keep the nuts or grains, if we want to preserve that, so we have to follow this method. What? We have to clean that, we have to dry that. Okay, then store them in clean, dry and airtight container, means moisture proof container. Okay, then neem leaves, turmeric could be kept in storage container in which pulses or grains are kept. Okay, so in a house we can do this. Neem leaves and turmeric we can use, or we could be kept in a storage container. Okay, to prevent the bacterial growth or to prevent the enter of microorganism. Then room where these are stored should be well ventilated. there should be no leakage, cracks and crevices and walls. Okay. Then next is to prevent rodent infestation, baits and traps may be used. Okay. What is happening? Rodents means in a house we rat will be there, right? So to prevent from the rat, we have to trap that. Okay. We all know about that. Then keep checking stock time to time. Old stock should never be mixed with new stock. Next is food additives. Additives is defined as any substance which is added to food directly or indirectly. Okay. Use of additives in food industry dates back to history. So food additives are those non-nutritional, non-hazardous substances which are added in food in very small amount to enhance the quantity of food. And classes of food additives can be categorized as follows. So I have told you before also food fortification and food adulteration. If the food additives will not harm to the human or to the uh, consumer, so that is fortification. And if the additives can be harm for the consumer, so that is food adulteration. So first is intentional additives. It is that substance, intentional means by intention. Okay. It is that substance which is added to food to improve its quality, like taste, color, texture, or to improve its keeping quality. They are safe for human consumption. These are also called first category additives. Okay. So if we will add any substance to increase the taste of that food, color, texture, okay, to maintain color, texture, and to improve the quality of food, that is not harmful for the human, of not harmful for the consumer. So that is also we can called first category additives. Okay, that is and intentional additives. Then example, coloring agent, preservatives, essence or flavoring agent. Then next is incidental additives or second category additives. Okay, incidental means maybe by the accident we can see. Okay, um, not intentionally, but it can be harmful for the consumer. Okay, these are those additives which enters the food accidentally and are not safe for human consumption. Example, food may contain residue of detergents remaining in disease. Then chemical spray used in field may accidentally get entered in food and may pose threat. Okay, if we are using any chemical spray and there is food is present there, so food can be observe that chemical spray activities. Okay, so the food can be harmful for the consumer. Then container or wrapper in which food is wrapped may add up some substance to food because or dissolving it out. Okay, sometimes what happen, if we will keep the food in a container or wrapper, so after some time that food could take the color or activity or chemical or smell of the that container or what wrapper. Okay, so we have to follow all the methods to preserve. Okay, then we have to keep in our mind about the additives, what is harmful for the consumer and what is useful or harmless for the consumer. Okay, hope you will like it and you will understand this. Thank you.